Alright, this stuff should be cooled down enough here to pop these open, see what we got. And there we go. Let's see how those turn out. Alright, well, not exactly a beginner's project there, but alright, well, here's the color combo we came up with. I just popped out of the molds there. You just watch me mix up. It's kind of, you really can't, doesn't do justice, but like you saw in the title, this is a beginner's video. I was a beginner about a year ago. I've learned a lot of stuff, and I'm bringing the stuff that I've learned to you, to explaining it in beginner's terms so that you guys can follow along with what I'm doing. We'll talk about that stuff later. What I've got here is essentially, I have the essentials you need if you're starting out. Just some of the real basic stuff. Here's a brand new mold that I just got, a new injector, and a thermometer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that stuff to show you how to make some worms, and then stay tuned to the end of the video. There'll be information on a giveaway. I'm going to give all that stuff away to a subscriber. So hang on, I'll get these opened up. We'll take a look at them and we'll get started. All right, so we'll go through the stuff here. Like I said, this is basic stuff I ordered on Amazon. One thing you need is a thermometer, and this one is an infrared thermometer. I'll put the batteries in it in a minute. Works just like this one. Point and shoot. Gives you temperature. Here we've got a mold. So I ordered just a simple 5-inch stick mold. Make some rubber worms out of it. Just some. Here's an injector. This is a small one. Grab a knife and get this open. It's your basic injector. Small one. I think it's big enough for this. I'll find out. And let's see, you'll also need a Pyrex, or this is an anchor, just a measuring cup. And if you're just starting out, you need a handful of plastic to melt down. So a couple of other things. You're probably gonna need clamps of some sort to clamp your mold up. I'd highly recommend a respirator and good ventilation, and a pair of gloves, and something to mix with. A simple butter knife works. This is just a tool that I had from an old job. So we get this stuff all put together and ready to go, and we'll melt some plastic down. Okay, for a little bit of prep work here, when you're using a bunch of old plastics like that, it's going to heat better if they're in smaller pieces. So I usually I had a cutting board here. I just chop all these up. They're just going to heat up more evenly. And these are just baits that I saved up while I was fishing, laying in my boat. Had friends of mine that actually saved baits for me too. So we'll get all those into a cup. We'll pop that in the microwave in just a second. We'll take a look at this mold. One thing with the stone molds is they do require oil. What I've got is, this is just simple mineral oil. Picked it up at Walmart or grocery store. And just a little shot of oil. And then just one of these little foam paintbrushes. We'll just spread the oil throughout. That's done. We just clamp them together. There's a bunch of different clamps on the market, and I found that these are fairly inexpensive and they work pretty good. So, and then you want to oil up your injector also. Get it back in there. Just put a couple drops in there. Rotate it. Just get the oil on the, you want the O-rings to be lubricated. Helps it slide. A little bit around there. We'll just put this back together. So next step is we will throw the plastic in the microwave. All right. Let's pop this in the microwave. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I got my mask on. So pop the cup in there, and I'm going to hit it for 1 minute and 30 seconds. All right, that was 1.5 minutes. It's just starting to get a little bit of a consistency of jelly in there. So we'll hit it for another 30 seconds. All right, all that stuff is contained in the microwave. I'll take this off so you can hear me. When it comes to melting your plastic, you want to go really slow. Like, so that was about a handful of plastics. Did it for 1.5 minutes. It was just starting to get gooey. I just did it for another 30 seconds. That should be about right. When it comes to temperature, you only need it to be melted if you're doing remelts. So about 320 degrees is just fine. Now if you're using liquid plastisol, that has an actual chemical reaction at 350 degrees. Liquid plastisol needs to be heated to 350 degrees or it isn't going to cure properly. Remelts like this, you can get by with like whatever is liquid enough to suck up in your injector. Usually about 320 is good. So put this back on, open it up. And once again, gloves. The last thing you want is 300-degree plastic on your hands. Right, $2.99, so I'll probably zap it for, give it about another 10 seconds or so. What I like to do when I'm taking the temperature is not just hitting the surface, because that'll give you one reading. When you're mixing it up on the knife, shoot the knife, and it'll get a pretty good reading with that. So we're right at 320. Get this injector, and we will see if this is big enough. Put in there, suck it all up. Yeah, feels like it's enough. So you want to push down until it feels full, hold pressure, and then top it off. And it's still just a dab left in there. All right, one of the things you want to do is, I'll tip this down a little bit, is it starts to, as it cools, it contracts. You want to make sure that that stays full. So just top that off. Put that back in the microwave for now. Lose the mask for a minute. Alright, so like I said, this is like real basic stuff for real beginners. If you think you want to get into plastic making, I'm showing you pretty much the bare essentials you need and what you need to produce something. That's how I got into it, and I now have a pile of molds there, another pile there, hot plate, vacuum pump. Alright, they should be cooled down enough now. I cooled down to the touch. So usually just open up the injector first to see if it's cooled down. If it's cooled down in the injector, it's probably fine in there too. So a little bit left over in there, so let's just pop this open. Open her up, see how she did. And there you go. Then what you just want to do is you want to, it's actually kind of turned out kind of nice. It's hard to see them under the light here, but, and then you just throw them in some water to cool them down. I'm going to put this back together. We'll do another shot. All right, I just ran that back through the microwave for another 30 seconds and then another 20 seconds. And that should be good. 330 degrees should be just fine. This is a little wooden rack I made to hold the cups. Holds them at an angle so that when you get down to the bottom of the cup, it's easier to take it out of the corner of the cup. Just throw your injector in, draw it up, push until it feels resistance, hold pressure for 5-10 seconds, something like that, and then top it off. Return the excess to the cup. And like I said, you're going to want to watch it as it's cooling down. You can almost see it there. You can watch it, it's starting to draw down. It's going to pour a little bit more over the top. And we'll let it cool down again. All right, it should be cooled down enough now. Pop that out, put that back together. So you can kind of see, maybe you can't see, but you can see how it has dipped down in there a little bit. But open them up and there you go. Another set of worms. Just throw them in the water, cool them down for a second. All right, and once they get cooled down, what I do is just take them out of the water, maybe pat them dry a little bit, and then just lay them out flat on a cookie sheet. Still pretty soft there. All right, so I got them all laid out on the cookie sheet here. And as far as curing goes, it's not such a big deal with the ones that you're from remelts because that plastic has already gone through a curing process. When you're doing liquid plastisol, when you're mixing it from scratch, those you're going to want to let sit 24, 48 hours or more. I just lay them out on cookie trays. I got a pile of these. I'm stacked up all the time. And just let them cure like that. I also hang some up here. Don't mind my messy basement here, but you can see I just have a bunch of baits hanging here. Here's some of the craw baits. This one I just took out a little bit ago. And it's just a pegboard that I put them on. So let's see, what else do we need to cover? Try not to forget anything. All right, so let's go through this again. just the basics that you're going to need. You need a basic mold, injector, thermometer, some clamps, some other clamps over here. Need some plastic, something to mix with, in a microwave. I will be giving away the mold, the injector, thermometer. But if you decide you are going to get a little bit more into it, let's look at a couple of other things that you may need. We can start with molds. Start with molds. These are stone molds. They're made from a stone and epoxy mix. Give them to wiggle apart. It's just like the one I'm giving away. For me, this is the one that started the whole thing. This is what got me started in bait making. I also have some aluminum molds. This one, a couple of these have my logo on them because these were actually panfish baits that I designed myself and had made. Those made by Patriot Bait Molds. Also another style under here. This is from Angling AI. It's an open pore worm mold. That's a whole nother thing. You just melt the plastic down, melt it down your cup, pour it in. So it's called an open pore mold. So a little bit about molds, injectors. This is another 1.5 ounce, like the one I'm giving away. These are bigger. These are 4-ounce molds. And then this one is a dual injector that allows you to do 2 different colors of plastic with a blending block. So you suck up the plastic out of 2 different cups, pop it in here. Kind of tough to do one-handed. And then when you inject, it will inject 2 different colors. You need a certain type of mold for that. So you need a certain type of mold for that. It has to be one with a top and a bottom, not a side-by-side one. Some other stuff you're going to need. Colorants. I got some here from Dead On Plastic. I also have some of these that I'd ordered on Amazon. You're going to want glitter. You can buy glitter from places like Dead On Plastic and a few other manufacturers. I got most of this stuff like at Walmart. Speaking of plastic, here's a jug of Dead On Plastic that's kind of separated a little bit, but you just mix that up. Also have this bait plastics plastic. This is an Amazon product. Like I said, you need some oil for your stone molds. I use mineral oil or vegetable oil will work. There is actually a worm oil you can use. I talked about the thermometers. I like these. A lot of people like the probe ones. I didn't think that the probe ones got a real accurate. I thought it was more accurate when you mixed it up and shot it with the gun than it was running the probe. I did a video on it if you want to watch. So yeah, with the thermometers, some people like the probe thermometer. I like point and shoot. I did another video, you can check it out, where it took a lot longer to get your temperature with this than it did with this. And I found that even just varying where you put the probe in the cup was different. So for me, I felt that mixing it and then pulling the knife, once you get it mixed for a few seconds, pull the knife out, it's hot. Check the plastic on the knife, it gives you a pretty good reading. So on with the tour here. I've got a hot plate. And what that does is that will keep your injectors and your molds hot. You get a better product doing that. You really don't want to heat these up too much. I've done it with, used a heat gun on them, but some of them are starting to show signs of, I don't know if you can catch that in the light, but that's marks from the clamps from the mold being heated up. And as far as clamps go, I like these clamps. These clamps are adjustable. If you want to put, if you're doing like 4 or 5 at a time, they actually come in, well, I'll leave it there, but these, you can get them with different size shafts on them, so you can do 10 molds at a time if you wanted. But these, you get them close, give them a couple twists, they hold tight. They're easily adjustable, and they were only like $4 or $5 at the hardware store. Then you've got, like I said, you've got this type. Clamp it down, ratchet it tight, got a little release on the bottom, lets it go. And then you've got just this kind that just clamps down. This one works pretty good sometimes. These clamping ones, I'm not a big fan of right now. I see a lot of people using them, but for me, maybe I'm putting too much pressure on it, but I get a lot of flashing when I use something that I can't really ratchet tight. So like I said, going on here, microwave. If you want to get real fancy, this is a vacuum chamber. Did a video on this. What happens is you get moisture in your jug of plastic, or it could be in your cups, or it could be if you're melting down old pucks. There may be moisture in it. I think you can get moisture from glitter too, if it's exposed to the atmosphere. But moisture causes bubbles. And if you're doing something like these worms I just made, that's probably not going to be a real issue in those. Where I found them to be an issue was, I was doing these, and the air bubbles would settle in the tip here and ruin the bait. They just weren't any good, so I ended up redoing a lot of them. But what the vacuum chamber does, you put your plastic, you can put liquid plastic in or heat it up. You put it in, turn it on, it draws all the moisture out. It looks like it's bubbling, looks like it's boiling. In the video I did, I actually put a camera inside the pot so you can kind of watch it boil up. But once you do that, it gets the bubbles out. You'll still get some bubbles as you're mixing, but those will usually float to the top pretty quick. And because you're putting your injector all the way to the bottom, you really don't get much issue with that. It's more for just getting the moisture out of the plastic. So, let me see what else we got to look at here. I think I talked about the putting oil on the molds. Need something to spread the oil around with. Toothbrush works good. These little foam brushes work great. Cleaning your cups. I've been using 409. It's not a big deal when I'm mixing all these colors together, but if you're doing something like this, like a real light color, you don't want any extra glitter or scraps of another color when you're doing it. So use just like a 409 sprayed in, wipe it out, and then I usually wipe it out, get as dry as I can with paper towels, and then I'll just leave it on my hot plate to dry out. Let's see what else we need here. Bags. You'll find that if you do start doing this stuff, you need something to put your stuff in. Bags. Clear bags is one product that I've used a bunch of. They are like this one here. See if I got one with something in it. Just using these. Got some 5-inch worms I made in there. These have pins on them or holes so you can hang them. These don't, but since I'm not hanging them when I'm fishing, I put all of my stuff in this, and anything I think I may someday want to sell goes in the ones with the pins, or the holes in them. Talked about laying them out on trays. Here's something I did last night. Here's the worms that we just did for the video. Here are the color shift ones that were in the mold. But I got a bunch of crappie baits, some more crappie baits, some ice fishing baits, and I made a whole bunch of an assortment. These all glow in the dark. So that's another thing you can look at. I don't have it out here. mica powder. I'll go get it. I should have mentioned this along with the coloring. So you have your liquid colors. They're liquid. They're an oil-based. These are made for plastisol. This one is also made to be used in plastisol to be heated. If you're going to order your stuff on Amazon, be careful. I ordered some stuff that I thought would work, and when I put it in the hot plastisol, you do not want to put a liquid base into 350 degree plastic. It didn't work out well. So that being said, sometimes you want to add other stuff to achieve things. I'm trying to see if I got something here. All right, sometimes you want to try and achieve different things. So I've got this laminate here. And this was done by using a chartreuse colorant. It's right here. For the top, adding some black flake to it. But the bottom portion, I added mica powder. Just added it's right here. Is mica powder. And mica powder, you start messing with that and then you can start changing viscosity. Leave that stuff alone for now. Just stick with liquid color. Okay, and along with the mica powder is, I said that some of those glow. It's more for ice fishing stuff. We like to use plastic baits that glow. So one of the things you can do is get a glow. You can also get a glow powder that you mix in. And let me see, what else can we think of here? I showed you these smaller cups. One of the things, small cups. I do a lot of small batch stuff. They do get bigger. They get real big. Some people even use, I have one, I don't use it, I don't mix that much plastic. Some people actually use like a deep fryer pot to keep a large amount of plastic hot while they're doing multiple baits. So, I think I covered all your basics. Looking around to see if there's anything else I missed. But, all that being said, I will be setting this up to have a giveaway, to give away the mold, injector, and the heat gun. So, hang around for that at the end. And I think we're almost at the end. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe, especially if you want to be part of the giveaway. And check out the rest of my videos, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, well, we're to the detailed part. But first, I'd like to apologize for my voice. Hopefully the microphone a little closer helps. I haven't really told a lot of people about it yet, but I have a tumor that's, right now it's wrapped around my carotid artery, and it's putting pressure on my vocal cords. That's why my voice has deteriorated even through the course of this video. I have good days, bad days. So here's the details you need to know. Just hit like. If you're already a subscriber, that's great. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit like, subscribe. In the comment section, put subscribed. And then I'm going to use the keyword subscribed as in the random generator to find a winner. So just put subscribed, enter that comment. If you have any other comments or questions or critiques, whatever, I'm still new at this too. If somebody else sees something I did wrong or misinformation or anything else, I apologize. I'm still learning. But if you'd like to make other comments, feel free to make a separate comment. And I try to respond to every comment. So there will be details as far as rules and stuff in the comment section, or in the description. And the only limitation is this is continental United States. I'm not going to be shipping stuff overseas. But if you are the winner, you will be receiving, put a picture up in a second, but it'll be the mold and the mold, the injector, the thermometer, maybe a couple other things. I'm going to run the contest for 1 week. So it'll be 1 week from the time that the video goes public. So good luck, everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I hope to be putting more videos out in the future. So thanks for watching.